Welcome to Ask Tamily episode 114. Today we are interviewing Tamily inspiration, Disco Diva. Her actual name is Leonie, but she's one Tamily member that I knew her Instagram name way before her real name. So many of you may refer to her as Disco Diva. She will be joining in a second, and of course, we have lots of questions planned, but it's always the most fun to take questions live from the chat. So type them in any time, and we will make sure to ask them. Just get it. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us and for being our 114th interview, Leonie. We're so excited to have you here.
It's amazing that you guys have done so many and amazing people that we have in our community. Yeah. And amazing for you guys to do it. So thank you for having me.
Every week. I have to verify, is it really this many?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing.
But we're very excited to get to know you a little more. And let's just jump right in with one of our favorite questions, which is when and how did you start with the Tracy Anderson method?
Actually, let me think. Oh yeah, I know. So I'm a journalist, and so I actually, when Osama bin Laden was killed, I mean, this is actually what happened. Mm-hmm. I went to Pakistan when he was killed, and I was always an exerciser, but normally you're like in hotels and things like that. So I went there and I was like, oh my gosh, I have no equipment. And I knew about Tracy, but I didn't really do the workouts or anything. And I found the webisodes. Do you remember the webisodes? Which I love. I still love that arms webisode. And like in between stuff, I would squeeze one of the webisodes during the day. So it was like arms, abs, legs. And so during the day, I only did those 3 things for like days and days. Okay. No equipment, nothing. And I think after like 4 or 5 days, my legs started changing. Huh. And on top of that, you know, when you're not used to being on your hands and knees, I just thought, wow, this is so hard. And I was always one of those people who I thought I could do so many things. So I was like, wow, I think something's happening. Mm-hmm. And then I still did other things for a while. Like I got like Perfect Design series, which I loved and all that. But I would say I probably didn't. So 2011, I think that was. Okay. So 2011, I think at the end of that year, I decided to commit to like metamorphosis. Okay. So I would say the end of that year is when I started properly. And then I just did, that's all I did.
Okay.
So I did the whole thing, and then we went to streaming and all that stuff.
So you did all of continuity as well?
Wow. Yeah, so I did the 3 years, and I started with hip centric for the first 90 days. And then I saw some QVC thing where she was saying that, oh, a lot of people think they're hip centric, but they're actually glute. And then I switched to glute, like after a couple of months. Okay. Yeah, I did all of that. And then I think when streaming started, they're like, this is it. The next thing you're doing is streaming. So I just started streaming then. Yeah.
Have you faced any challenges in doing the method?
Well, I had knee surgery. That's Leonie, as I was joking. Leonie for knee surgery. So basically, when streaming started, I actually had just had my first surgery. So I was just doing arms, sitting on a chair for a while. So I feel like I had like 3 Tracy journeys, because then that first year I had to get back on, you know, like I had to do proper physio and then get back onto Tracy. And then I had to have another corrective surgery. So then it was a second year, and then I had to start all over again. So I've had more because I've had injuries that I had to like deal with. Mm-hmm. And lately what I've also found a little bit is like, I think they're hard workouts, and I think we're all amazing people that we even do this. It's amazing that we're so strong. But I think that I felt like I have to be careful with my shoulders and my wrists and things like that. So I have had to watch that a little bit now. But apart from that, I haven't really had any issues, but I had to learn to move differently, as we all have. Like I said, that whole sitting on like your hands and knees thing is so hard in the beginning.
Yeah. Well,
That's
and
it.
honestly, watching you like work out through recovery from surgeries and stuff is amazing. Amazing.
Wait, honestly, I feel like I'm really lucky that the Tamily happened at the time. So like Jillian, who made the word Tamily, actually, she was one of my first friends, and I feel like at the time there were so many people. Like if it wasn't for us, I would never get through it, because sometimes you just felt like I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So it was fully because of these, our amazing ladies that I did get through it. So
Yeah, I don't know if any of us would do without each other.
I know.
Especially in something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
To see someone that like has a knee brace on and like that you're figuring it out, you're modifying moves, you're doing all that stuff. It's truly, truly a legendary inspiration.
I'm a pro when it comes to that. So I still get people sending me emails. I have written it all down. And I will send them like, this is what I did. Obviously you have to do what your doctor tells you can and can't do. But like my physio thought I was hilarious, because every day, or like every week, I would bring him the new streaming workout and we would go through it to see what I could and couldn't do. Most of the time I couldn't do anything. Like he's like, you can't do this, you can't do that. But eventually we got there, So yeah. So yeah, I got it all written down for people who need all the stuff you can do.
So besides obviously like recovering from surgeries and everything, what kind of results have you seen from doing the method?
I feel like my entire body shifted. And so the funny thing is my weight has not changed, like at all. But my shape keeps changing. And people keep thinking I've lost weight. Even I think I have, because I like my clothes fit differently. But I think because we exercise every day, so we don't necessarily see the changes. It's only like once in a while you look at your videos and like, actually I think I changed, and other people will say, oh, you've changed so much, and like really I can't really tell. But yeah, I think literally my shape changed, and with metamorphosis specifically, I felt like whole body parts were moving. So I think that's one of them. I think our cores are super strong. I mean, like, because I'll ask like even my brother, who I always think that boys are strong in the core, and like impossible. They can't do the stuff that we can do. Core is really strong, and I think also we're a lot more fluid in our bodies. Because I used to do lots of like boot campy type stuff, and now I can feel the difference. Like I'm just a bit more fluid.
Yeah.
So I think those are the main things that I feel like I've. And also, I was talking to Tracy McNeil earlier this week or last week, and we were talking about how we're so used to like all the screaming, shouting kind of workouts. I couldn't imagine that I would ever be in a class where no one's talking and I would actually like it. But I actually like it, and I'm really used to it. I can't take all the talk and all that kind of stuff anymore. So
yeah. I find that now like so distracting.
Yeah.
It's like
it's so funny, isn't it?
It is. It's such an incredible change, because I mean there's every other method has talking or yelling or encouragement or whatever.
Which I was used to, and I thought that was the way. We're just used to it a different way now. There's Aggie's on. Hi, Aggie.
I'm sure she'll have a question. We have a couple of questions in the chat already. Okay. So Nicole says, she has a non-workout question. What is your favorite meal to prepare when you have a get-together with friends and family?
Okay, so I actually have a food blog, which I had never cooked in my life before I had knee surgery, by the way. And then because I couldn't go anywhere, I started a food blog, which is cooking and clubbing music, hence all the music stuff I have, because I can only cook to clubbing music. But I think my favorite thing is probably shakshuka, because I make it all the time. I love making breakfast stuff. Any breakfast stuff I love making. But you can put anything you want in it, and I like the fact that you have it in one pot and everyone kind of just like digs in. So I think that's my favorite thing to eat. One of my favorite things to eat, I eat eggs all the time, and one of my favorite things to make. Yeah.
Nicole also asked If you were marooned on a desert island and it could only take three things with you, what would you choose?
Red lipstick, definitely. I would on a marooned on a desert island. Book for sure. Or actually, maybe we just look around, so don't need the book. So desert island, I would something to wear, like a
Good idea.
And can I take a human? Then I would take my sister. I would take my sister because we're so the same. We like the same things. We'd explore the island together. So.
That sounds wonderful. That was a good question, Nicole.
Well done.
Who in the Tamily inspires you?
Oh my gosh, so many. It would be the entire Tamily. I mean, I feel like I've made so many friends as well. So I think we're all friends now, which is amazing. And I feel really lucky that I've got to meet a lot of them, like all over the world. So like Jillian, for sure. Monica. I mean, these are friends I've had from the beginning. Aggie, I've had from the beginning as friends. There's like the girls in London, like Adita and Zat, and obviously we've got Mariam, and I don't even want to keep naming names because I'm gonna miss people. Mona. There's so many. So my first Tamily person that I met, Suzanne, for sure. The first Tamily person that I met was actually Ariana.
Okay.
And what was really funny is I used to live in Dubai when I first started tamming, and we didn't have Instagram then. And I didn't know anybody who tammed, and I was always looking for someone to talk to, and didn't know anybody. And then I left and I came to Washington, and then Instagram happened. And then I found Dariana, and it just so happened that we lived like 15 minutes apart in Dubai and didn't know about each other. So when I went back to visit, then we finally met up in person. So she was the first person I met in person.
Oh, wow.
That was super cool. Like, we were so excited. We were like geeky girls, you know?
Yeah.
And like everyone thinks we're crazy because we just meet people all over the world that we've never met. But I feel like we all know each other.
Yeah.
I just met Alicia the other day.
Yay.
Yeah, for a BCRF thing, and she's an amazing lady. Like, wow, she's a wow lady. All those ladies are amazing. Yeah. So yeah, I just feel like we've got so many. Sacred is hilarious. We have so many amazing friends, and Sophie Cherub, who doesn't do as much Instagram, but she's in London. She was one of my first Tam friends as well, and she's so talented. Like, every time I sit with her, I'm like in awe of her talent. So yeah, lots of people, and not just for workout purposes, just for human purposes, you know. So we've got so many amazing humans.
Yeah.
And every day there's a new one that you're like, wow, I didn't know. So
it's so cool about connecting in this way and learning, you know, more about each other. Even though we're connected in the workout, like, it really becomes about so much more than that.
Yeah.
So Aggie's asking you a question. They're always very deep, difficult questions, but let's see what
gosh, Aggie, we're supposed to do like shoelace questions.
She's asking, what do you think constitutes a fulfilling life?
Okay. Let me think. Fulfilling life. I think it sounds really stupid, but I think whatever makes you happy. So, which is really hard, I think, sometimes, and to find the joy in it, because it's actually become a thing for me lately, is to, like, I literally start the day saying, today I will create joy and I will bring joy. I feel like I have to do that because I think there's so much madness in the world at the moment. So I feel like not to be judgmental of anyone or anything or yourself at all, because we're always correcting ourselves. So I think whatever makes you happy, do whatever makes you happy. So if it means like you want to eat all day, eat all day. If it means you want to listen to music or go for whatever it is to make you happy. And I think we have to do that a lot more consciously now. Because otherwise we can just get lost in all the stuff. So I guess that, I don't know if that makes sense, Aggie.
Totally does. She asked a second question. We don't usually get two from her, so this one's good. She said, I know you travel a lot. What's the most valuable lesson that you've learned on the road?
Sleep.
Mm.
So I'm terrible sleeper, really bad sleeper. So like I said, because of my work, I traveled all the time. There was a time I would travel like maybe every 2 weeks. I'd be gone for a week to 10 days, and like all over the place. And so I just never slept. And I was really particular about exercise and stuff like that. So if I slept 2 hours, I would still get my workout in. I would do this, that, blah, blah. I got really sick. I've been sick many times, but I got really sick where I was, they thought I had a minor stroke. So I lost and I was like 30 years old.
Oh my God.
So I lost my speech. I came back, lost my motion, all that stuff. But I really didn't know what was happening. So I was in China for work.
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't really go anywhere. I just kind of like kept working. I woke up and like I got up and then I thought I was fine. I came back. I was living in London. I came back to London and then didn't do anything for a month because I was so busy working. And then eventually when like people were like, what happened to you and you didn't go to a doctor? I was like, yeah, why? I was just so tired. I was like, oh, I was just so tired. I was just so jet lagged. They're like, no, not good. So anyway, I got super checked. They had to check me for everything. And then I got chronic fatigue for a year. And if anyone has ever had anything like that, it's so debilitating. Like you can't do anything. Like you can barely breathe, you know? So I got that. And then I found this amazing doctor who helped me get out of it. And then what happens is like every few years I've had something weird that happens. So like there's another year that so like about 2 years later I would just start shaking, like violently shaking. And so they thought I had epilepsy. So I would have to keep getting checked and all that kind of stuff. Turned out I didn't. But because I've had a few of these things, and anytime anything happens, like if I start getting a little bit numb, I have to go back and get like all these like neurological stuff. Mm-hmm. So the lesson in all of that I've learned is because I felt like I just wasn't learning the lessons of just relax, you know, and just the lesson of sleep. Like I said, I'm a terrible sleeper, but if I'm really tired or if I'm physically not feeling well, I'll just chill. Mm-hmm. So I think that was the main thing I learned because I was just taking everything for granted, or I just thought I could do everything, you know, especially when you're like at that age, I just thought I could do everything. So I think from travel, definitely sleep, lots of water, yeah, I think that was the main thing because it just taught me to, and like even now, like if I haven't slept, like the past few days, like I said, have been really crazy few weeks. If I haven't slept, then I'm just gonna chill, not gonna do anything because I think it will manifest in your body in some way otherwise.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's something that's such a important lesson and there's so much pressure about your job and, you know, working 20 hours a day, multiple days in a row and that's a huge lesson, very important to share. Gosh, you've been through a ton of stuff that is really amazing.
Yeah, but it's all good. Like that's why we just kind of like just get on with it, you know, you just kind of just get on with it. You can't not, right? But I just think everything happens for a reason. So it was my only way of learning to slow down. Like I did a lot of night shifts. A lot of people do night shifts in the news world. And like, I mean, I just think we're so stupid for even complaining about it because I'm not a doctor or anything. Doctors do night shifts and nurses do night shifts. They do, and they're saving people's lives. I'm just doing it for work. So it's not a big deal. But it's a big deal in terms of taking care of your own body. Because we only have one, so we have to take care of it, and you don't want to get in a state where you're like debilitated for years and all that kind of stuff. So take care of yourself.
Absolutely. There's so many people that it's like they have to have something happen to learn the lesson. And if they can learn maybe from, you know, an Ask Tamily interview, that would be good.
Yeah, please just chill, guys. So yeah, especially this year. My goodness.
Oh, seriously. So how do you get and stay motivated to work out on a regular basis?
Tamily for sure. just watching everybody, because if you don't feel like it, you see everybody and you're like, wow, they're amazing. Music, definitely. So I literally listen to different music every single day. And I do music, like I listen to music for everything. So in the shower, I have music on. When I'm cooking, I have music. When I'm walking, I have music. I have music all day long. Like I go to sleep to music. Okay. So everything I do is to music. So music definitely is what get me on the mat if I'm not in the mood. And yeah, I think that's really it. Like for everything I do now, I've kind of replaced some of my music during the day with like geeky podcasts. But like I said, like I have music on all day long, so that's what gets me motivated for sure.
So besides clubbing music, which is clearly the best, what are some of your favorite other genres?
Everything. So literally everything. I'm thinking if there's something I don't like. I think so it just goes with the mood. So there's a lot of hip hop stuff, but like old school hip hop. I'm not good at top 40 music at all. Like I'm not in, like I don't know what's going on. Half my music is stuff I've had for a long time. Even the DJ music is like from DJ shops, so you don't necessarily find them online. Brazilian, love Brazilian. Because it's really diverse, all the types of music. French music, I love French music because again, they mix a lot of their, like they'll mix African and like Arabic and all that stuff, and I love that stuff. Let's see. Yeah, love reggae, love Luther Vandross. Like there's literally everything. So that's why like every day I wake up and I was like, what do I feel like listening to today? And then that's what I'll use for my workout and for cooking and for everything else that day. So.
You're making me want to put playlists together.
Yes, I have zillions. I can share them with you too.
So getting us back on a Tracy track, have you ever met Tracy?
Yes, I met her 3 times maybe. So 2 Vitalities, and one was my first one. Was in Washington D.C. They called it something else. It was a 2-day one. Okay. In Washington. So that was the first time I met her, and it was right after one of my knee surgeries, and I was worried that I wouldn't be able to do much. I literally trained for that thing because I was like, I've got to be able to do something. But it was good. It was really amazing because I always think there's Tamily everywhere, and I think Marin, who's one of our Tamily girls, she and I were the only like people who'd actually done it before. It was really amazing. Like most of the other people were all new. So it was a really cool experience because she it was kind of like starting from scratch with people who didn't really know much about it. So it was really good, and Courtney was the trainer. And I'd been to the studio in New York once before, and I met Courtney there before. So it was a really good pair, the 2 of them, amazing. And then the next one was in New York, where I met even more amazing ladies. We had lots of trainers in that one. So that, and then in London last year, there was a group event. So we met her there. Yeah. I mean, I always used to ask her about my knees. So I was like, what should I do with my knee now? And it was always the same. It's like, just keep doing the same thing. Don't overdo anything. And that was it. So I was like, fine. All right. Then I'll just do that. So yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you think she's going to tell you some secret, and it's like, follow the method, listen to your body.
Yeah. And the other thing actually, because I used to do the treadmill thing a lot, the treadmill dancing, because I was in hotels all the time. So during Metamorphosis, if I didn't have space for the cardio, I always did just the treadmill stuff. And that surprised me because, so since my knee surgeries, I hadn't done it because I was too scared to do it. But I was saying, oh, that's the one thing I'm dying to get back on and do it. And she was like, please just chill, don't do that. You know, it's like hard for your ligaments. So I haven't done that since then.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the other advice. Yeah.
What is a particular lesson that you've learned from Tracy?
I think the main thing is how we move our bodies, because I think before it was a lot more linear in how I think it just taught me that how important it is to move in a circular way, because I'd never thought of it before. Because now I see people who do these linear type of classes, and I can see how tight they are in their joints and things like that. And I just thought, I never would have thought of it, you know? So it's like someone who's already thought of it for us, and like incorporated it, so we just do it. But that's what the difference is. And now I'm aware of it. And now I understand why it's important. So I think it was more about how you move your body in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What is your favorite thing about the method that you think makes it different than other ways of working out?
The fact that we move every part of our body. So partly that, and I cannot believe I'm saying it, but I do like the fact that there's no talking in it. So I like, you never feel like with other workouts, you might have been like, oh, today I didn't do my bicep, or today I didn't do this, or today I didn't do that. Whereas with this, you never worry about any of that. It's like, I know everything's going to get done. So I love that. Like, I really love that. I also love the fact that we don't have to jump all over the place to get like the whole body moving.
Right.
And really sweat. I really love that. And I like the fact that it just flows. And I do like the fact that there's no talking. I feel like it helps you get into like a meditative, like you can just focus.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the key.
It is.
Focus.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I cannot focus with people bossing me around.
Isn't that so amazing how like we shift once that happens, that you find like, oh wow, that's a big thing. It is a big thing.
So I feel like the answer to this is no, but do you ever do dance cardio?
So I did when I did metamorphosis all the time. It's more of a time issue for me, and it's kind of a policy for me as well. Like, even if I had 75 hours in a day, I'm not going to do more than an hour of exercise, because I feel like that's more than enough for me and for most people. And I feel like I've dedicated that time for that, and I can find many other things to do in my day. So read a book, see my friends, eat, whatever. But I'm not going to spend hours on the mat. I just won't do it. But what I've done recently is I've been finding that my leg is cramping quite a bit. So because I think we're in contracted positions quite a lot. So what I've done is like a few days a week in the arm section, I'll do cardio there.
Okay.
So I'll do like 10-15 minutes of cardio at the beginning and then get into my legs. And it feels like it kind of shakes stuff out a bit. So I'll do that. Yeah. And I do, I used to do a lot of the 15-minute bonuses. I do catalysts, like the ones that start jumping from the start. Cause it's like, this is my 15 minutes. So I just make it work. So yeah, that's it. I don't mind. It's not that I'm not a cardio person in the sense I'm really too lazy, but I know I need to do it. So yeah, so that's how I fit it in.
So for your regular workout, what is your routine? Do you always do a tane, intermediate? Do you switch it up?
So I've always done, I had to work my way back up over the years, but yeah, I always do a tane. I do 6 days. What I found recently is because they're quite tough, if I find that it's a bit too much on my body, then I will switch out and do an IMC once a week. But a couple of weeks ago, I felt like it was really heavy on my hips, and it's just the way my body is. It just felt really heavy on my hips, one of the classes. And so that week I switched to IMC, which I've never done before, but I did. And I'm quite open to, like, if it's not feeling right, I'll just change it. But generally it's 6 days AMC, yeah.
And do you work out in the morning or at night or whenever it fits in?
So morning, because otherwise I can't fit it in. I'm going to have to change my schedule over the next few weeks because of work, and I'm really nervous because it's going to turn into a later one, and I hate doing late because I'm always too tired, and I feel like I'm going to miss it. So generally it's generally morning, yeah.
Have you converted anyone to being a devoted Tam?
Tons of people. Well, it was like my mission in the beginning because I didn't know anyone who did it in the beginning. So I gifted, I think, Metamorphosis to almost everybody I knew for Christmas, like birthdays. I gave it to so many people. And at that time, no one converted. And I was like, guys, you know, but weirdly, my account's private. But I think just from example, I'm amazed because there's some people who've been my friends for ages, and I didn't even know they were following me. I'm really strict on who follows me, but I was like, well, I guess they were just my friends, so I just said, yeah, sure. But and then they message me. They'll message me when we had those like Tamily friend things where you would ask for a friend. So I would invite other people, and then other people would just keep coming on and saying, by the way, I'm joining this. Yeah, I've quite a few.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm amazed because some of the people I've seen, I feel like I did 3 years of the Metamorphosis continuity, and then I was ready for streaming. And I'm amazed at these people who come on now and they go straight to BC, and then they go up so quickly. I was like, wow, I don't know if I could do that.
There's no way I could do it.
Yeah.
That is
it took me a lot of prep.
Yeah. I mean, even just getting used to, you know, like you said, being on your hands and knees, the wrist pain, the shin splints from cardio, all of that stuff. And some people just jump into streaming, especially because streaming feels so much more challenging than it did, you know, in the beginning.
Exactly. I feel like we were built up over time through Metamorphosis, right? So I don't know how they did it. I think they're amazing. They're really amazing.
Totally phenomenal.
Yeah.
Do you have a motivational quote that you would like to share with the Tamily?
This is why I should have read the email. It's like,
unplanned interviews are the best interviews.
I'll come up with one by the end.
Okay.
I'll have a thing. I'll come up with one. Yeah.
So I know some people know this, but can you tell us about where you live and what you do?
Technically I live in London, but I've been here since April. I'm in Washington, D.C. now. My mother and my sister live here, and I came for the lockdown. I thought I was going to be here for a month. Every month I think I'm going to be here for a month, and I'm still here. But it's partly because I have had a lot of work. So like the protests in the summer, and now the elections are coming up. So I've just been really busy. And so that's why I've been here much longer than I
longer time.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I was in Washington for 4 years before that. So it's really, so I was born in London, and then I grew up in Dubai, and then eventually went back to London, which is what I consider home. But then I went back to Dubai for work, and then here. So I've been out of London for quite a while, but, and I only moved back last year, and then I'm back in Washington. So this is the funny thing. But I'll go back probably after the elections, I'll go back. Yeah.
And keep traveling all of the time once that's a normal thing to do.
You don't know. Yeah. This year is, I mean, in a way it's good. We just stay in one place, right? So
there's definitely benefits to that.
Like my sister and I were looking because we have this friend in Nicaragua. And we're like, that's not far from here, and should we try and explore and this, that, and we're like, not gonna go now. So but yeah, so many countries to visit.
Yeah. What is the meaning of your Instagram handle?
Disco Diva. I love disco. So anyone who knows me, I love the entire 70s era. So I love all that shiny makeup, and I love the photographs and the clothes, music, love music. So yeah, disco, because I literally love disco. Wow. And the thing is, like, it's been my email forever. So it's become, it's to the point of like people actually just call me Disco Diva because I've had it for so long. So yeah, it's just because I love disco. I love the music. And then I was at work one day, and one of my friends at work like, hey, we should make a logo for Disco Diva. I'm like, okay. So we literally just like Googled this picture, and then we put colors on it, and so it became like a logo. So I've just had it forever. So that's it. Yeah, it's because of the music, and I love the 70s.
Well, and I think a lot of people, especially in the Tamily, like it's just such a memorable name that
Yeah.
you're Disco Diva. I was like,
Yeah.
do I know her real name? I better make sure.
I think Tracy also only knows me as Disco Diva. I think that was it too. I'm not sure how many people know my name unless I physically met them. But yeah. But
Right.
even people I physically meet, like even my really close friends that I've known forever will just say Disco Diva sometimes. Don't worry, I'll respond.
What would be your advice to someone that's new to the method or new to the Tamily?
So with people who are new to the method, I actually still have those webisodes. I've brought so many people into the method that I've gifted people. Metamorphosis is a big commitment, so I can understand if people don't want to do that. But there's some beginner mat DVDs that I did when I got my surgeries, and they're really good, and they explain things really well, and there's a precision. So the ones where she explains things, I'll tend to give them those just so they don't get scared in the beginning, and then the things like just don't stress about your wrists and your knees and things like that. Just put padding. It just takes a little bit of time. Just stick with it. So that, and then I will basically check in with whoever it is. And then I'll do classes with them. We'll do classes together. So that's what I normally. I'm just like, don't get scared. It just takes a little bit of time to get used to, but it's worth it. So that's what I would say.
Absolutely. Has there been any advice that a Tamily member has shared with you which has been impactful to your journey?
Let me think. I just think I don't know if there's any specific advice, but I just think all the encouragement and all the support that we constantly get when things are down. I mean, that definitely, not just in terms of workouts, just keeps you going in as a person. Mm-hmm. So I would say, like, literally everybody who's ever sent me a note or sent me some kind of support, even the trainers. I mean, like, when I had my knee surgery, I remember, like, Stacy sent me, like, the nicest, sweetest note. And like Maria Kelling had done some kind of a breakdown, and she was like, I was thinking of you and your surgery, and I put in a note, I put in a thing on how to modify things, and I was like, wow, that is just a lot. So I just think all the words of support, whether it's anything like that, definitely. Like that.
Yeah, that's true. Even if it's just
anything.
You did a great job. Like, that makes such a difference.
Yeah, it does. Definitely.
What can you do now that you could not do before you started the method?
Oh my gosh, we could. It's not just me. All of us. We can plank forever. And I also have. So I have a shoulder injury from before. My shoulder pops out. And so part of that, when I had that, was from basketball in school. And that part of that recovery is they taught me how to plank properly, which was like you push down from your shoulders and that. But even then, it wasn't like we did that much, right? So I just think, wow, the one thing I could definitely do is like, I wouldn't even be worried if whether it's a plank or anything to do with like core-ish type stuff. I know all of us could beat everybody in that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
These are the challenges. So like we did this like plank challenge where it was like me, my mother, like this trainer from a gym, and we had heels on and everything. I was like, I'll get this one. I know I'm gonna get this one. And then my mother sat on my back and I still did it. Yeah. So it was like minutes and minutes and minutes. Yeah.
What do your friends and family think of the Tracy Anderson method?
They think we're super dedicated people to do it, but I think they're really they can see the changes in me. Mm-hmm. So I think they respect the fact that we're all, not just me, everybody's so dedicated to it. They really think the Tamily is amazing. Mm-hmm. And they think we're a little bit crazy, definitely. We all are. but I think they really respect it, and they can see that this is not our easy thing to do, and we all do it. So I think they respect it, definitely.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Definitely. Like respect for the dedication versus sometimes just people thinking that we're
Dedication. Oh yeah, they don't do that at all. I think they really respect. I think they probably all want to be able to do it. You know, it takes work and it takes practice. But I think they think we're a little bit crazy. I'm sure, and I think we're a little bit crazy, but it's all for a good cause, so it's fine.
What is your approach to rest days? I think you mentioned you do 6 days a week. Do you plan your rest day? How does that work?
I just chill. I had to kind of force that on myself because I'm not the type of person who would normally. But like I said, after all the stuff that I've been through, it's important. I just chill. If for any reason, like I don't feel the need to, I've got to do something, or like I don't feel it at all. I'm totally like off day. So like today's my off day. Sunday's usually my off day. The past few weeks I've had to shift my rest days because of my schedule. But generally Sunday's my rest day, and I'm just like chill. I just think your body needs to rest too. So like especially if you've had injuries and stuff like that, you don't want to like overdo it. Just chill.
Right. That's such a good point.
Yeah, and we have to be okay with it, right? So.
Right. Absolutely. Do you remember your first post to Instagram as a Tamily member?
Yeah, it was when I had my knee surgery. So, because I posted it a few times when we do before and afters, and it's like because I didn't have any befores. Before pictures, I didn't have one. But yeah, that was right after my knee surgery, and just sitting on a chair and doing my arms. Yeah.
Oh. So. You've come a very long way.
Yeah, we all have. I feel like we all have. Like every week, I feel like we've come a long way. So.
And even within that week, we go from like this to being able to do it.
Totally. Like these weeks, I feel like I've been like 7 years long each. So
yeah. Oh my gosh. And things that I'm like, on the first day, sometimes I just sit there and look at the screen. Like that's impossible. And by, day 4, it's actually kind of easy.
Yeah. So you know what, Suzanne, one thing that I think I've noticed is a shift in the way I'll approach it. So I remember like in the old days, I would look at it and I'm like, oh my God, it's a crazy cartwheel thing. And I'd just get really irritated by it. And I'd just be like, oh, this is going to be the worst week. And I would just like literally every time be like just irritated by something like that. And I think we've done it for so long that it doesn't bother me at all anymore. It's like, it just dissecting it bit by bit, and then just get on with it. And I think, like, I really feel like, wow, we've been doing this for so long that it's fine, and it's just like bit by bit, we'll get through it kind of thing. So yeah, I think it's been a bit of a shift. I think like half the time, if we can do all of this, we can do a lot of stuff, right? So, so I think that's part of it. Yeah,
exactly. And it's so funny how you mentioned about like the planking, because I think sometimes we don't realize in all the dynamic movement that we do, like really how strong we actually are, like how long you can hold a plank or, other types of movements. It's like, it's unbelievable that we build this strength through the workout.
We're super strong. And the other thing is that I hate doing side planks. Like, with a passion, I hate doing side planks. But I'm trying to remember, someone posted the other day that she's now even on both sides. Like one side would be hard and the other side was, and I was like, I've noticed that as well. Like now I'm equally, like if I don't like it, I don't like it on both sides, but I'm pretty much the same on both sides. I feel like we're changing and we don't realize that we're changing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's such a good point too. Because especially once, you might not be losing weight anymore or seeing like huge differences, but you're still like building the back. And yeah, absolutely. How did you actually discover the Tamily?
The Tamily, or because so when streaming started, Tracy started this it was a competition where it was like she wanted everyone to post videos, right, from the thing. So it was the very beginning. And then I think because Jillian made up the word Tamily, and then we all just started calling ourselves Tamily. But
and she used to do those theme weeks.
Yes, exactly. So it was Jillian and Aurora. Do you remember Aurora? So yeah, the two of them were the first people that I got to meet. But it was purely, I think we all came on at the same time, right? So there was like Monica and like there were so many of us at the same time. So I think that's how we met, and I felt like that was we were quite a small community then, so we all really knew each other, and then it's built over time.
And did you all start streaming like right when streaming first began? Okay.
I did, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Because I think they sent us an email because we ran out of the continuity. So there were no more continuities left. I don't know about the others, but for me, that was what happened. And then I got an email or something saying this thing streaming is starting, and that's it. And that first class is like one of my favorites. Like I recorded it and I kept it.
That's so cool.
So yeah, yeah, I just thought it was the coolest thing. But it was because I think we ran out of stuff, so they were like, now you're doing streaming. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So that was the class where Tracy, well, she's probably said it a million times, but she said the thing about like, don't judge yourself, don't judge me, and don't judge
Yes, exactly. It is. And it must have been tough for the women in the class, because I'm thinking, wow, if you've never, don't even know what streaming is, and you just have to get on with this class, and we know how hard some of those classes are, I would have been like, okay, sure, you can record this. But yeah, that's the one. And the music was really amazing in that class. I love the music in that class.
Yeah. We used to be in a different space about music with the workouts.
Yeah, I mean, finally the music people caught up with us.
For sure. So have you been able to think of a quote since?
Oh, it's time, isn't it? Let me think. I'm gonna give you some. And you know, like I always have quotes, and then the moment something happens, I'm like, wait, hang on a second. You know who has the best quotes is Monica. I feel like I should have kept one of hers today.
Yeah, she does. She does have good ones.
It's just like,
Everyone's
I feel like where are Monica's quotes when I need it? I'm actually going to go on and see, because she always has something. There was something, oh, I know. Jillian did something today, and I really love it. I'm going to say that. It might not be my, I have so many of these things, but literally now, because I can't think of something, but this morning I read this, and I really love it too. So it says, you've got to find people who love like you do. And I love that. Because I think if you're passionate, if you're a certain way, you want to be with people who feel the same as you. Otherwise, you feel like a freak. So, so yeah, being with like-minded people.
Yeah, that's such a good point about how we're connected by this workout, because of like the kind of people that want to do a workout like this and be dedicated, even though we can be so different and have different talents and are from all over the world.
I love that. And I also think, I've also recognized that more this year, that your priorities and your passions might be different to other people. And now is the time that you weed it out. There's no point forcing yourself to be with people you don't want to be with, or people who think you're something. They won't if you think the same way. Or like if you, like as Jillian says, who love like you do. So.
Yeah, that is a great one.
Yeah.
So we're coming up on our last few minutes. So if anyone has a question, please type it in the chat now. But is there anything else that you would like to share with the Tamily while you have this audience?
Let me think. I'm just so grateful. I just hope there's Mons. I can't read these messages, they're sideways. But I just think, no, not really, except what I keep saying is I feel so grateful that we have each other. And we have something that's really special, because no one really understands it, but I feel grateful. Like we could go anywhere in the world and have a friend.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that is just, it's got to be the most amazing thing really about this method. And especially getting through this year. Like, you know, we've got something that so many other people had to look for during 2020.
So true. And all these Zoom workouts and stuff like that, now we have a next level. We were already kind of Zooming on Instagram together. So yeah, it's true. It's like people were messaging me like, oh, you always worked out from home and now we're going to do it too. I was like, yeah, we always did. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. But now we're even more connected.
Yes.
Well, there are a ton of comments about how much people love you, Leonie. It's like,
I'm looking.
You should
I might scroll.
yeah, because
They're gonna
unfortunately,
disappear.
they're going to disappear after we close this interview.
Oh my gosh. All these, I'll just scroll it really quickly.
Yes.
And see if there's anything. I'm so, oh yeah, those are the Nicole questions. Aggie, Monica.
Everyone loves you.
I love them. This is the thing. I feel so grateful because they're all my buds. And I just feel like I just feel really lucky that I've met so many amazing girls, like literally all over the world. So I feel really lucky.
Yeah. I mean, that's the coolest thing, that you can travel to anywhere and connect.
Yeah. Yeah. So like Zat and Adita, I miss you girls too. Tons and tons. Keji Nasser, oh my god, another one of my original friends. Eyebrows. My eyebrows are, that's so funny. So oh, thank you girls. I love you too. Oh, thank you, Nicole. I feel so lucky. Oh my gosh. So I have some friends who also, I'm going to take a screen grab with you. So I have it.
Okay.
Ready, Suzanne? Got it.
Oh.
So on my food blog thing, I have some of the girls who come on that as well. And there's one, and I think actually there's been a couple that I didn't know were my Tamily friends too.
Oh.
Because they messaged me separately on that, so I didn't really connect that they were together, like in the same.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's really cool. So I like, now I've got more and more Tamily girls who send me their food pictures too.
Cool.
And music choices. So always send me music choices.
Do you have your food blog like linked in your profile on Instagram? Or how do we find it?
It's called Not Just for Laughs. It might be on my profile. It might be. I have 3 Instagrams. Oh. So Disco Diva is private, and then the other 2, one I had started for work like years ago, and then I'm really bad at, but I take a lot of pictures. And then my food one's called Not Just for Laughs.
Okay.
And I always think that in an ideal world, food and music makes people happy. So if I could do food and music for life, that would be it. Like if I could earn a living from doing food and music, but I will do it for free, obviously. But then I don't have to do like wars and stuff anymore. I'm done with that. So.
Right.
So yeah, too much of that in the world. We need like food and music.
Seriously. Right. And we got to balance.
Yeah.
Well, Leonie, we're so happy we've got to interview you. The time has like flown by.
I know. Thank you.
It's been really wonderful getting to know you a little bit more.
I'm so grateful, and it's so cool to talk to you because otherwise we don't get to talk. So
right.
We'll be talking now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks for being for having me.
114. And this interview will go right now onto the Ask Tamily page, and then we'll also put it on YouTube in a few days.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thanks so
much.
Love
you, girls. Thank you, Nicole.
Bye, Tamily.
Bye. Love ya.
Love ya.